Have you ever gone out to make an upgrade, but when you get it, it feels like it wasn't really an upgrade at all? Maybe the new thing has a better battery life or a new look, but really the upgrade wasn't really that noticeable. In the world of vinyl records and collecting, making the right choices can also mean saving a lot of money in certain cases. But what upgrades actually make a difference? These 5 upgrades not only will give you a noticeable increase in audio quality, as well as help maintain your collection, but they're also not that expensive in the world of vinyl records. The first, and I would say most rewarding upgrade, is to figure out a great system for cleaning your records. Cleaning records could be an entire video itself. I only recently discovered the joy of actually cleaning my records. You can look up online and on YouTube. There's a lot of videos that can walk you through it, from homemade remedies to audio desks that cost thousands. However, it really comes down to 2 areas: wet cleaning and dry cleaning, or as I call it, not cleaning, just dusting. Anything that does not involve some type of wet clean or surfactant is not actually cleaning the grooves, and this is what I'm talking about in regards to cleaning for this upgrade. Either vacuum cleaning or ultrasonic cleaning will take even brand new records to places that you didn't think were possible. I always just thought crackles and pops were part of the experience. I had no clue until I got a vinyl vac, which is only $30 on Amazon, and I vacuum cleaned my records, and I noticed a huge difference in my audio quality. A bigger difference than a new stylus or cartridge, a bigger difference than new audiophile vinyl. I can honestly say, from my experience, the #1 most noticeable way to improve your record collection: clean your records. It can take a very good bargain bin record to a very good plus reference copy, and not just old vinyl. New vinyl needs cleaning too, a lot sometimes. Those factories are dirty, and they don't always wet clean the records before they go into what are usually dirty paper sleeves. And I'm sure that a lot of people are gonna argue and say that I haven't properly cleaned my records if I don't have a $3,000 machine or something like that, but I have a good and cheap solution that works, and I've noticed a huge, considerable difference in my vinyl experience. Number 2 comes with an asterisk. This is to upgrade your turntable. It gets an asterisk because I'm not talking about upgrading in the way that you might be thinking in regards to expensive turntables or just for better sound quality, which will come from getting a better turntable. This upgrade suggestion is for the functionality of the turntable and more a recommendation for those with beginner or suitcase players. Most of these entry-level turntables don't allow you to make adjustments or outright changes to the table. If you have a turntable that does not have a weighted or balanced tone arm, if the cartridge is not replaceable, if it's got built-in speakers, or if you're not able to adjust the feet to make it level, you might want to consider an upgrade. And I can say, if you're upgrading from those entry levels to something with these features, that upgrade will allow you to make adjustments to your table that will make extreme noticeable differences to your collection. Personally, I would recommend never getting one of those tables. Maybe you were given one as a gift or something like that, and that's great. They do work. But if you want to get started in vinyl and you need a turntable, go for either a used vintage that has these options like I did with my Fisher MT6330. It was $15 when I got it, and I've had it for 22 years. Or go for something like this Angel's horn on Amazon. Both of these options will allow you to make the adjustments and upgrade I already mentioned, especially the next one. Upgrade the cartridge. A lot of people would say that this should be number 1, but you might get a decent turntable with a pretty good cartridge, so it's not as important as cleaning the records in my opinion. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that the only thing that should be upgraded on a turntable is to upgrade the cartridge, everything else is minimal. And I could say from my experience that that is a close approximation. I had that Fisher MT6330 for 22 years as my primary turntable, and the only upgrade on it ever was to get a Shure M35X cartridge, and it was a beast. So much so that I never even considered another one until I got this new turntable, my Fluence RT85 with the Audiophile 2M Blue cartridge. The fluence does make me understand a bit more why those other things like plinth weight and platter material choice are all very important, but they're not standout noticeable to me. The cartridge is literally the microphone of the turntable. It's the thing that comes in contact with the record, so it would only stand to reason that you should get a good one, if not a great one. Upgrading the cartridge can change a lot of things about the experience, from the tone to the clarity to even how well it plays through dirtier vinyl. And it can track better on your records that you just spent time cleaning, and this can make them last longer. Along with a cartridge upgrade is aligning the cartridge. This is very important to do and will also really make a noticeable difference in the sound. For example, if you're hearing a lot of distortion in one channel and not the other, check the alignment. It could be that the needle is literally riding one side of the record, and that's actually damaging your records. The next upgrade that will give you the most impact or bang for your buck is to upgrade the preamp. Now, back to number 2, the turntable choice might dictate if you can even make this change. Some turntables, especially entry-level ones like we talked about, have built-in preamps. Some stereos or amplifiers have a built-in preamp. You can check this if the stereo or amp has a phono line in with a screw that'll ground the turntable. Back in the day, most stereos had this, and if you're lucky enough to get a great vintage stereo, it probably already has one built in. When modern stereos started switching out for 5.1 surround sound, a lot of them started ditching that preamp, like the stereo I have, the Pioneer VSX D514. When a turntable sends out a super low signal, it needs to be boosted, and the quality of that boosting is in direct correlation with the cartridge. The cartridge is the signal that the preamp is boosting, so the better the preamp and cartridge, and more importantly, the synergy between the preamp and the cartridge, the better your listening experience will be. I recently went through this upgrade. I just got the iFi Zen Phono preamp coming from a $25 Behringer Microphono, and it came in before my new turntable arrived. I hooked it up to my old turntable and cartridge, the Fisher & Shore combo, and the sound was amazingly clear, almost as noticeable as the first time I spun a clean piece of vinyl. I could even turn my amplifier down by 10 dB, it was so much clearer and louder. You do need to make a good decision on the pair, the cartridge and the preamp. I'm now using the iFi Zen with the Audiophile 2M Blue, and I love it. I bought this off of a recommendation from Cheap Audio Man on YouTube, so go around and do some research. But this iFi Zen wasn't that expensive, and according to guys who actually can call themselves audiophiles, it delivers even for their needs. So upgrade the preamp when you can. And last, at some point, you need to upgrade from bargain bin thrift store shopping and just filthy records to getting some quality pieces of vinyl. Don't get me wrong, I love finding those gems deep in antique stores, but quality vinyl does make a huge difference. You don't always have to get MoFi one-steps or UHQRs. They are awesome, and they offer more than just sound enhancements. But you can get audiophile vinyl by looking out for good pressings and doing some research on what reviews say are good pressings. Usually there always seems to be a consensus. If more than like 10 reviews are saying that this is a bad pressing with lots of surface noise, then it might be. But, and this is a huge but, I have found a lot of people think that they have a bad pressing, but they skipped number 1 on this list. Clean the record, even new ones. I have a bunch of vinyl from big box stores that have terrible reviews online, but I got them home and I cleaned them and they sound amazing. Also, it doesn't have to be an original pressing. It can be an older pressing. I have a 70s pressing of Electric Ladyland that sounds amazing, and it was a lot less than the Tricolor Original or the 200 gram Newberry Comics limited release. And I can say this, for what is a noticeable upgrade to your pieces of vinyl, and that is 45 RPM records. I listened to a lot of actual 45s, so it wasn't so striking to me at first since I was used to hearing their fidelity, but I just got Herbie Hancock Headhunter's 200 gram 45, and listening to it compared to my normal 33 was night and day. The sound is so much more in your face in a good way, so if you can afford and get copies of LPs in 45, go for it because it can make a huge difference to your vinyl collection. These are just my personal recommendations from my own experience. What are some noticeable upgrades that you have made made to your vinyl collection? Let me know in the comments. I'm always tweaking my setup. I've never upgraded my speakers or my actual amp since I have ones that work pretty well to my ears, and really the new edition of the Fluence RT85 and the iFi Zen are the first upgrades I've ever actually made to my stereo. But I would love to get a conversation going, so again, hit me up in the comments below, follow me on Discogs and watch my other videos, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.